All right, so today I am going to share some tips and tricks on how to get your natural curl wave texture styled without being super frizzy. So it all starts in the shower. I like to brush all my tangles out, get all the knots out before I jump in, and then I have a nice wide tooth comb in my shower. I like to use Davines Love Curl shampoo and conditioner because it gives your hair moisture, elasticity, bounce, and it doesn't weigh it down at all. It also helps control the frizz. Once I have my conditioner on, I let it sit for a minute or two, and I use my wide tooth comb then to make sure that it's smoothed out. I usually put my part where I want it then, and then I rinse it out. When I get out of the shower, I use my towel without rubbing your hair or being too aggressive on it because that will cause frizz. You just want to lightly take the wetness out by scrunching it through. I've let my hair air dry for about 15 minutes now just so that it's quicker and easier for me to style. So I like to start by using Love Curl Primer. That's this product here. It comes out as a spray, or you can spray it in your hands and work it through your hair. The benefit of this product as to why it's so important is that it's a smoothing milk for your hair, so it's going to help add some moisture and some life to it, but it also has humidity, which with curly hair is massively important because once the humidity hits your hair, that's when it gets really frizzy. Whenever applying curl product to my hair, I always scrunch it in to reinforce the shape that I want. So now that I've got that in, I'm going to use the Curl Building Serum. This one's going to help add a little bit more curl to my hair, add a little bit more texture. Because I don't have a ton of curl, I want to build onto it. If you have a crazy amount of curl, that's when you might want to use like the smoothing serum to help tone it down a little bit. So I'm using about the size of a dime in each side because I do have a decent amount of hair and it's quite long. Use more or less depending on your hair texture. All right, now that we've got that all in, we are going to diffuse it. So I use the diffuser here and I blow dry it in from the sides, from upside down, and I focus on getting it right to the root so I can get a little bit of extra volume. Alright, so I don't like to blow dry my hair all the way. I find it makes your curls frizzier if you do that. I also use the blow dryer on medium heat rather than high heat because high heat will create frizz. Another thing that you probably notice that I do is I don't move the diffuser around a lot like this. I usually pick up a bundle of curls and let it sit until it's the dryness that I want. The reason for that is the more that you work and play with the curls, the more frizz you're going to create from it. So now that I've got my hair about 80 to 90% dry, so it's mostly dry, but there is some dampness to it. I like to use a little bit of the sea salt spray. This one I like to use because it's going to help give it some definition and a little bit more texture to it as well. I don't like to use a lot, but I like to focus it more around the front because that's where I find my curls are weak. And I just scrunch a tiny bit in there. And one spray on that side. If I find that I want it in a specific area, like this piece here, I'll spray it on my hands and then scrunch it into there as well. If I want to have a little bit more beach texture throughout the rest of my hair, I will spray it throughout all of it sometime. Those are my favorite products for styling my texture, and then it'll be completely dry in about half an hour, so I'll post a picture of how it looks. If you have any questions, please reach out to me and ask. Okay, so it's been about half an hour. My hair is pretty much totally dry at this point. I'm going to spray in just a little bit more sea salt spray. I just want to give it a little bit more definition. Now you can see I've got lots of curl in there. I've really been able to define them, and it doesn't have a ton of frizz. If you've got any questions on how to do this with your natural curls and my product suggestions, please reach out to me.